And a good afternoon, a good evening, and welcome to another edition of Tea and Poetry. Just waiting for Dave to connect. I see you there. I see you
Hey,
there.
here we go.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good. Can you hear me?
Can you hear?
Yeah,
I can hear
absolutely.
you. Can you hear me now?
I can. It looks a beautiful day where you are. I'm just kind of looking at the scenery behind you. Wow.
I am going to tell you, everyone, in a moment where I am right now. I am coming to you. This is a special edition of TM Poetry today. And first and foremost, I want to wish everyone a good afternoon, good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. And I know it's, again, still crazy times out there. But, again, things are still moving along. We're doing things cautiously. I do have my mask here. I do want to point it out. And I am at the house of a very special individual, someone who I am proud to say is a very dear and close friend of mine. We've had the opportunity to fast track our relationship, and it's just really incredible. So I'm at the house of an individual who we call Sedona Dave, and I am in Sedona, Arizona right now. We arrived. I'm here with B Fox as well. We have a partial team here with us. Not going to go into the logistics side, but we were supposed to have a more elaborate crew here with us, but we decided to scale it back in the interest of everyone's health and safety. So I decided that I wanted to continue on with the plans and not want to cancel this trip. So I am here now. And, Dave, you're wearing a sweater. I feel like I have to put a sweater on also because it's actually a little frosty out here.
Yeah, it's definitely cold here. We're due snow at some point over the next couple of days, possibly kind of late on tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, it's definitely getting that winter feel now. We've got the Christmas tree up, and it's great. We're kind of into the holiday spirit now, and we're looking forward to the festivities of the next kind of few weeks.
Yeah, fantastic. And you're, for everyone out there, Dave is wearing a beautiful red sweater, which looks nice and warm and cozy right now. So can you pass it over here? I have my bags over here. We literally it's like an hour and a half drive from where Mr. Fox is living in Arizona. And we got up here, no traffic or anything like that, but we got up here, it was a little late. So I didn't even have a chance to unpack or anything like that. I do have a sweater, but I figured, you know what? I was given this delicious coffee, and I figured we're going to go ahead and do this. And the main thing is we're live, we're connected, and we are here. So, Dave, I'm going to be, actually, before we go into a couple of things, I want to just to give a quick, hello to Dave, Mr. Sedona Dave himself. And you are connected here, correct?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, well, I just got to find you. Oh, here he is. I want to bring Dave on here for a moment. I feel it's important that we bring him on early on here as well. But I want to just say there are a couple of things here, as we always say. There are three ways to get in contact with us. You can just put on mute. And you're sideways. There we go. There we go.
I'm right ways.
There he's looking. There he is. There are a few things I want to say. So one, if you want to get in contact with us, get our attention, the best way is to always raise your hand. And when you raise your hand, that means there's my number one hand just went up, Travis. I love it. We're going to get to you in just a moment. But you can raise your hand. That means we're going to bring you in. You can also send a message through the Q&A, or I believe the chat typically works, but sometimes we have some difficulty with it. So 3 ways to connect with us and to be able to grab our attention. And we encourage as many of you out there today, and I see a lot of familiar faces, new faces. I encourage everyone to please interact, raise your hand, don't be shy. This is a phenomenal group. And as our dear friend Allison always says, this is her tribe. This is the tribe here. And I want everyone to, feel that and to be able to really experience it. So that is how we can get connected. So Dave, how you doing?
I am awesome. Am I unmuted?
Oh, hold on a second. Oh, I lost you there, Dave. Oh, you got muted. There you are.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we lost you there for a second. I don't know if that was just my end or it froze your end, but we kind of lost you. To answer your question, I'm very good. It's been a eventful and busy week, as you well know.
I do.
Obviously, there's things we're not going to talk about just yet.
We always have these things that we can't talk about, but this is, there are things there's a lot of always, everything's very fluid here, right? And we're working on some incredible projects, and what Dave is going to, I think, share to the world tomorrow, I think I would say.
I'd say so, yeah.
Is something just completely on a whole nother level, and I am so proud of what Dave has accomplished this week. And my buddy here said the other day doesn't know what I'm talking about. So he might get filled in as long as he signs the confidentiality agreement. But but no, what Dave accomplished and did this week is on a whole nother level, and I can't wait for Dave to share that with everyone here and the entire world.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow.
I'm just going to say, for anyone out there that's kind of intrigued to what this is all about, just keep an eye on social media tomorrow.
Yes.
There will be some things shared tomorrow, but I'm not going to say anything other than that just for now. But it's been a great week. I had a really busy day yesterday. Did a radio interview in the morning. Had something that we're going to reveal tomorrow yesterday afternoon. I was kind of busy all afternoon, and then in the evening evening my time, I spoke at Doreen's wonderful Insights support group, which was an absolute pleasure. I know Doreen's out there. I know we've got a few new people that have joined us from the Insight support group yesterday. And tomorrow I am going to be speaking at another event for a great charity here in the UK called the Thomas Pockington Trust, and they're doing a celebrating blindness event tomorrow, and they've got some wonderful speakers. It's been going on the last couple of days, I think, actually, and I'm speaking tomorrow at that in the afternoon. So I know we've got Louise, who is on the line at the moment, she's in the PJs, so and she's also on vocal rest, because she's lost her voice with all the planning. Barry, you know what these things are like, trying to get everything organised last minute. So we're not going to get Louise on, but in a future week we'll get her on to speak about everything. And it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to this, because Thomas Pockington Trust have been a supporter of mine for quite some time now, sharing a lot of my poetry and on their social media. And this is the first time I've actually spoke at one of their events. So it's going to be pretty cool.
That's great. There's nothing like a busy schedule, and I think it's so important to continue with a schedule, given everything that's going on, the upticks and all that. And
this week's crazy, actually. I've got to tell you this, because I've not even told you this, Barry. My week has been like constant, like pretty much every day with calls and different things, and it finishes for me. My last thing this week is going to be at 10 p.m. my time on Friday night. I'm being interviewed by Bailey's nephew, Braden.
Yes.
Who we've been supporting for quite some time now with their family with the poetry. And Braden, he's 6 hours behind, so it'll be 4 p.m. for him, 10 p.m. for me, coming in from school, and he's going to interview me over a call.
Awesome. That is awesome. I'm again ecstatic. I love all the decorations. You've had the decorations already up there last week. And I see part of your tree, and I see that beautiful iPad below there. and you're coming to us. What kind of device are you using today to come to us?
I'm on the I'm on the Apple iPhone 12 Pro.
Okay.
Pro Max, I should say.
Nice.
It's the big one.
Nice.
So we'll talk more about that in the future. You may have seen a little video on my YouTube channel.
Yes.
We've been talking about it recently, but I'll
Absolutely.
talk more.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to, before we get into some poetry, I want to just give a shout out to the man that's to my right, who's sitting here, who's on the screen with us. I'm going to go ahead and put myself on mute, and I'm going to let you say a few words. Without further ado, Sedona Dave.
So,
Hey, Dave, good to see you.
Dave is Dave. So great to see you from way out there. Great to have the crew here on my home turf of Sedona. The guys pulled up in the driveway.
Your microphone's sounding very muffled. I don't know if you're touching it or it's rubbing against your coat.
Oh,
yeah, there you
sorry.
go.
Can you hear
so
me
we can
now?
hear you loud and clear.
Sorry about that. Sorry. No, I was just expounding on how awesome it was to see Barry and Ben pull up in the driveway out here in Sedona, and I heard them like hooting on the street. It was just a great entry to this beautiful place. And my apologies out of the gate. I set up our studio in the back of the house, sheltered from the wind, and I thought what a beautiful warm place to have this beautiful poetry. It's cold. The wind isn't letting up, and I feel so bad for Barry. I have a blanket. It's cold out here, so
it's a little frosty. But you know what? We got great coffee here, and I'm just happy to be here. So
it doesn't look cold. It looks beautiful there. I mean, you can see the blue sky in the background. Absolutely gorgeous.
In a few minutes, we're gonna get into. I want to get into some poetry first, but I want to have you go around and share with everyone, because you're fully mobile. I'm gonna have you share with everyone some of the views that Dave experiences literally day in, day out. And I could not. I mean, I was driving the car up here, and it was just
breathtaking.
Breathtaking. Is it on? Dave, have you ever been out here, by the way, to Arizona?
No, I've not. I've always wanted to. It's definitely one of the places I've always wanted to visit in the States. And I've seen a lot of the scenery. Been on calls. I've seen a lot of things before. But yeah, I really want to see it in person.
It's truly remarkable. So I've been to Arizona many times, but I've never been here to Sedona. And Sedona is famous for the Red Rock, and it's incredible. So Dave is just walking around the side of the house there, and I'm going to also bring in B Fox. I don't know where he's got himself positioned, but anyway, Dave is going to be sharing with us some of the views here that are just breathtaking. But let's go. And we got B Fox is brought into the mix here as well. B, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Hey, B, how you doing?
You're just upside down.
You're sideways as well. What's going on?
I'm upside down.
Come on, everyone's sideways.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Hey, good. So I've got some poetry to share with you.
I'm here for it.
And I always like having you on the call, B, to kind of relate to what I'm going to read. Now, I've picked out some poetry. What I've started to do now, I've only just recently started doing this for these calls, but I've started actually going back into some of the poetry I've not touched upon for quite some time, and then choosing a piece of poetry and then kind of changing it up a little bit and rewriting a few lines to kind of bring in my style of how I write now compared to how I write or used to write back then. So this one is a really interesting one, actually. It's called Blind Awareness. And it really, I think this is something I want to kind of talk about tonight a little bit with people. This is a real great piece for kind of talking about how blindness and people with low vision are viewed by other people, and the misconceptions and the opinions that they may have. So I'm going to read it to you. I won't say much more. And like you always take notes. I like your thoughts at the end of this. Okay.
My notes are up here today.
Yeah, you can do it up. Yeah, that's fine. So this is blind awareness. When you look at me, tell me, what do you think you see? Is it this cane I hold, a blurred blindfold, or a disability? A reason to feel sorry or to be grateful it's not you? Relief that it's an easy thing to take your foot out of my shoe? Do you feel a strange confusion that this blindness you can't see because I don't look the way that you've been told I ought to be? Does that word by definition mean that all I see is black? Or is it blind awareness that the seeing world still lacks? When I make a first impression, gaze my way or catch a glance, do you see the man I am inside who loves to sing and dance? Can you look beyond the label? No, to me there's so much more than the person I've become since blindness knocked upon my door. So when glancing at this cover, please don't judge till you have read. Every page that I have shared from my heart, this ink has bled. You see, I do it for a reason, so blind awareness world can learn. Hope this message will be shared by you, because from now on, it's your turn.
Wow.
That's classy.
I'll let you go first.
That's classy. That is seriously classy. And I mean, by the way that you to me, that's a classy battle cry. You raised a banner up, and you said, spread the word. And I appreciate that. That's what I heard, right there, specifically at the end. And the way that you were able to create this particular message to pass along, it hits hard, but at just the right point. And anybody on the call that has shared some of these feelings can know the moments when it's most important to express yourself, sometimes the moments of most frustration, and finding those words like that Dave just shared with us. Well, thanks, Dave, because that's what I got a poem for you, and I send it to somebody in my family, like, oh, you're having a day like that, or a celebration that I'm like really excited about, some celebration in my life, and they're like, well, this is just what happened. I'm like, let me share a poem with you. So yeah. I really appreciate that.
You've got it exactly right. We talk about, we often talk on these calls about the things that we all go through, and a lot of us, sometimes we don't realize that we share these things until we all start to talk about it. But it's another thing to actually have that conversation outside of our community. And that's what that poem is about. It's about, saying to someone, what do you see? What are these judgments that you make of a person that is living with sight loss? And actually, that it's very different from how you believe. So this poem will tell you that. And once you've got that knowledge right at the end, it's now your turn. So we don't have to be the spokesperson all the time. Let's have people outside of our community sharing what they've learned from us and what it's like to actually live with low vision and blindness and being almost blind.
You're creating those did you know moments? Did you know? Oh, did you know?
Yeah,
those moments.
Exactly.
So, Dave, forgive me because I don't have my pen here, and my mind is all over the place today because I have these beautiful distractions. There was two words. It was something with definition. It was early on. I believe that was the phrase that caught my mind. And if you could read it back.
Yeah, sorry. Does that word by definition mean that all I see is black?
Word by definition. To me, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're going to say, and please re-emphasize that. What I was going to say, I did a radio interview yesterday morning, and I was being interviewed by another guy, a radio presenter who's got RP, and we were talking. He was asking me questions like, what term should I use? Should I use sight loss? Should I use low vision? Should I use visually impaired? And I just kind of said, well, you can use what you want, but don't be afraid of using the word blind, because blindness is a spectrum And we actually need to change how the word blindness is defined.
Yes, we do.
That's what I try to do in my poetry. We shouldn't be ashamed of using the word blind, because blindness isn't all or nothing. And that's what that means. Change the way it's defined.
That is, you took the words out of my mouth. And I think that was
Absolutely.
2 words that really stood out for me, that were like, just glaring, that need to be emphasized. So
well, that poem that I read for the first time a few weeks ago now, that has become B's favorite, Blind Perceptions. It says, I've read that a lot recently on different things, and it says it in that poem as well. Let's educate, articulate the many ways we're blind. And that's, and B, you notice this recently. What I started doing was, and it's amazing how you just change things slightly, and it makes people kind of sit up. I started posting excerpts of poems on Twitter and on Instagram. So sometimes when you have a poem like Blind Perceptions, sometimes when you have a poem like Blind Perceptions, there's so much information and so many things in that poem that it's hard to actually, when you read it, to take it all in. And sometimes what I love is when people actually break it down and take out little bits that mean something to them, like you guys do now. So I've started doing that myself and sharing images of sections from pieces of poetry on Instagram and on Twitter, and then putting in an audio descript as well for people who can't see the image. And the shares that's been getting on some of the groups has been incredible.
I'm going to have you, I'm going to put a special request in. I'm going to send you some photos here of some from Sedona and from the drive up. And I'm going to put a special request for a new piece of poetry based on this Red Rock.
Nice.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm going to say, the poetry won't be as good as if I was there myself. That's any reason to get me out there.
Hey,
I've got to kind of feel these things, you know what I mean? But hopefully,
you know what? I do want to say that there's something special in the air in Sedona, and the drive up from Phoenix was beautiful, but as soon as we got, like, I guess in the vicinity of the Red Rock, right? You just felt it, and I literally, like, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So what Sedona Dave is going to be doing, and I imagine that, we had this trip planned we had an incredible group that was supposed to be here, joining us for this journey and experience. But now that it's been postponed till early, middle April, I think there's a greater reason why. And in my opinion, I feel that it's because we know that you need to be here for this. So I think, higher powers were saying, no, don't do it now. Got to wait for Dave to be able to come across the pond and be included in this. So,
I definitely agree. Definitely. I know. Hopefully it won't be long. You may have heard the news from the UK today. We have been become the first country in the world to give the all clear for vaccine, which is going to be starting being dished out next week to the elderly and vulnerable who need it first. And the Pfizer biotech or something like that vaccine is being dished out next week here in the UK, which means that we're getting closer to things opening back up again.
Absolutely. In fact, I reached out to an old friend of mine who works for a major airline and lives here in the Phoenix area. And he's in management, and we were supposed to meet up this morning because it's been a long time since we've seen each other. And he had to he unfortunately sent me a text last night. He's like, Barry, I will not be able to see you this morning because I was called into headquarters because we are, logistically, we're running these flights from Europe into the U.S. down to South America. There are a lot of requirements when it comes to transporting the vaccine. So he's at the forefront of it. And I said, Captain Ken, I said, your mission is a lot more important to be at headquarters with the planning and logistics and getting that all sorted out than catching up. And I said we'll be able to do that. Get together next time. There's a lot of comments here on the through the chat, through the Q&A. A lot of Doreen. It's good to have you here as well. Louise, Philip. Trish, thank you so much for your comments. Trish said that she loves Sedona as well. She grew up in Tucson, in the Tucson area, and she has a very place in her heart for Arizona. And Trish is from Dallas, and tomorrow, Louise bring it right. Tomorrow is International Disabled Persons Day.
Certainly is. That's a big reason why there's going to be some big announcements tomorrow.
It is. And Philip wants to know what time tomorrow. I'm going to assume because the announcements will be being being played out of Europe on this one, out of the UK to start. So I would say so. So I would say by the time you get up on the West Coast, there should be some great stuff out there.
Yeah, some really cool stuff.
So let's go ahead and let's bring on Travis, because Travis has become the go-to, the number one. He always puts his hand up first, and I love it. Let me, Travis, hold on. I'm going to allow you to talk. Let's see, Travis.
Hey there, how you doing?
You're doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. And hey, real quick before I say something, David Steele, the vaccine that you were talking about a few minutes ago, you were correct on the name, just to let you know. So
okay,
you were totally correct. Yep. Anyway, aside from that, how things go? I hope things are going well. How's things going in Arizona, Barry?
Things are, knock on wood, as they say, incredible here. Incredible.
Yeah. And is the weather?
A little frosty, but the sun is shining.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm just in complete awe of what experience here, the views from Dave's house. And, again, everyone always said Sedona. Now I understand what they've been talking about. So have you ever been out here?
No, but I hear the sunsets and sunrises are super amazing. I heard, and it just everything about it.
I want to tell you something. We've got sunset on the schedule for tonight. We got the moon on the schedule for tonight, and we got sunrise on the schedule. So
awesome.
That is part of the schedule, and I think the view right now from B Fox out there with the mountains out behind him. I mean, it's just clear blue skies. And for many of you out there who may or may not know, I'm extremely passionate when it comes to aviation. Dave Steele knows that, and Sedona Dave knows that. But just happens to be that we are over the flight path of the East Coast, West Coast track between LA and New York.
Right.
And, we've got some overhead traffic right now. It's just beautiful. It's just seeing these on this sharp, crisp blue sky with these white contrails coming off the aircraft engines. Really, really, really nice. Really nice. So So hopefully, maybe maybe in April, maybe you'll be able to join us out here.
That would be fun. We would have to work on it though with my work schedule, and I know it would have to be after we have we are done with this COVID stuff. But I would have to give more than enough notice to my work and everything. That's the important thing, because what I do and everything.
Absolutely.
Because they would need more than 3 weeks to 90 days notice for things like that.
Oh, okay. We will keep that in mind. Travis, what do you think of that piece of poetry that Dave read earlier?
I really have to say, I can say this poetry is super amazing. I mean, kudos to him. I mean, I really think it's meaningful because, how just with the blind awareness, how we can be respectful to us blind folks and everything. I really thought it was good. Very meaningful. And just how we can just help each other out in a positive way without having ignorance towards blind folks and everything. That's the thing. So especially if we want to be giving and thankful this holiday season. that is very appropriate, especially since we're in between, Thanksgiving and Christmas as we know it and all
Yes.
that.
Yes, and I cannot believe it. You mentioned Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask everyone. I hope everyone had a really enjoyable Thanksgiving. But it feels like it's so long ago already.
It was amazing. I mean, the food was good. My BFF who works with me made a new a recipe that's from her mom's side called a cranberry relish.
Mm.
Oh, wow. You got my interest already.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's great. That is great. I love when I see your hand go up right away. You're always the first. I'm always curious who will be the first hand to go up. So thank you for always participating and being here. And you're an important, part of this group, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome. And I just wanted to tell you too, real quick, things have been going great on my part. The family's doing well, and we have the majority of our Christmas stuff put up.
Very nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe you'll be share it with us in the future.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. I will totally figure that out.
I know you will.
Yeah.
I know. For someone who works at the Home Depot, I know you can figure it out.
And I actually just bought my family one of those inflatables this past weekend from Home Depot. Those Christmas inflatables.
For the front lawn?
Oh man, it's great. It's a penguin. I got a 6-footer because we just don't have the space for the 12-footer at our house, and it would just be too big.
Okay. Hey, at least you got the 6-footer. It's
oh man, it shines really nicely, and it has a good stature, basically. Nice and tall.
Get us a picture, and I want to share that next week. I think I have your email address, Travis. Take a picture for us, and I want to share that with the group next week.
Okay, how about this? You know what I'll do? I'll take some pictures of my Christmas ornaments turned on at night. How about that?
Beautiful. We would love that.
Excellent. And what I'll do is I'll save the email that you sent me today, and I'll just hit the reply button or just look for your address. I'll program it and I'll send it to you.
I will send you a personal email, and we'll go from there. And I want to share it with your permission. We'll share it with the group next week.
Okay, I'll do some good pictures of our ornaments lit up at night.
Fantastic.
All right,
Thank you so much, Travis. Always good to hear from you. And we'll speak to you in a bit. All right.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before I go to the next guest, Dave, you always surprise me or surprise us with special guests. Is there anyone out there tonight that I need to be aware of?
No, not tonight. I don't think so. Anyway, let me just check. Hang on.
Oh, guys, not that we need a special guest or anything like that.
No, not that we need it tonight. No, I mean everyone's a special guest tonight.
Absolutely. But you know what I'm saying. Sometimes we do have a little bit of an extra guest, but I think just being here in Arizona is a special piece of the puzzle here, and So I'm going to go to the next hand, and I believe this is Chef Orly. Yes, it is. Orly.
Hello.
Hey, Chef Orly.
Florida. Hi, poet.
Hey, listen, Orly, I've got to ask you. Did your friends get the books?
Yes, Elizabeth got her books, and she was in awe. She can't wait to read and understand through your words of various journeys and things where we come from. But what she was so amazed is she did a lot of soul searching for her brand and colors, and they're exactly the same as your books.
Wow.
And
okay.
She was in awe.
That's cool.
Yeah. She loves them. Dave. Well, no, there's a few Daves here. I was gonna say, Sedona Dave, you have to know that when you have speech on, some pictures now are translated through speech, and you would love to know how it translates you. First of all, it says that you're an adult, so that's good to know. And it talks about the sky and that you have glasses or goggles on, And it tells me everything, but I was captured by the adult.
Lily, it's telling you that now from the live video?
Yeah, as soon as I scroll, I see well, I with speech, I hear you're on, Dave Steele, and Dave, and Dave Epstein, and it gives me bit of description.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Well, don't believe everything you read.
Oh, you're not an adult. Okay, it's wrong. Dave, Dave Steele and Dave Sedona, Dave, hello. What I wanted to say, what you said before, I was gonna say, amen. I've been asked since I was a kid, how should I relate to, or what should I say, what shouldn't I say about blindness, visually impaired, sight loss, partially sighted, and I always used to say blind. And through the years, I've never wavered. I mean, whatever people are comfortable with, first of all, I'm not one to always be stuck on semantics and, oh, this is politically correct or whatever. But
Right.
I've had some flack. I really have, from some people in the blindness community that were very angry with me that I was not being fair or misrepresenting the community by saying that that is okay. Some people really get very sensitive about that. And I personally want to say that I'm exactly what you say, or relate to what you say, that there's nothing wrong with saying blind at all. It doesn't, it's not a negative connotation. It's not lowering the person, nothing. And I know we have to be respectful, of course, of everybody's wishes and what they feel is important. But that's what you shared before. I was just going to say, amen, brother.
Yeah, but the thing is, Orly, you can't please everyone. There's always going to be
No.
someone that disagrees. That's just life.
Correct.
That's how people are.
Correct.
You know, I have never, you know, as much as people say to me, they relate to, you know, what I say in the poetry, and you know, often people say, oh, it speaks for me. It's like, you know, you're reading my mind, all this kind of stuff that we hear people say in these calls. I never ever would think in any shape or form that my words represent the blind community, because that's just not true. Because no one's words represent everyone, because that's impossible to do that, because
Correct.
we are all different in lots of different ways. And, you know, I'll just take, you know, the ones that can relate to it. If they get something from it, great. But, you know, we definitely shouldn't be, I don't think you should judge anyone for using that, you know, blindness as a term.
No.
Because everyone has a feeling from it. If it works for someone, I think that's a good thing. But, you know, we do need to, from my point of opinion, we do need to change how blindness is defined, because that would help a lot of people with these misconceptions.
So I have Clark from your side of the pond, Dave. He says hello to everyone. And he says that he always says that I'm the visually impaired artist, as he feels that a blind artist sounds weird. So
there you go. There's a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong with this, but, you know.
Thank you, Clark.
Yeah. A lot of people, you know, they understand blind, but they don't, you know, they never heard visually impaired before, and you have to kind of explain it. And from my side of things, I can just quite easily explain blindness being a spectrum as I could what visually impaired means.
True.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that's part of the issue, because when we talk about low vision, you know, people don't understand what that means.
Many people feel that low vision, or assume low vision just means you need some glasses or corrective, something to aid you to see well, but that's not the case. There's such a wide range.
Let me just kind of put it in terms here in the UK, right? With the way you are registered or classified being visually impaired or whatever in the UK, you have two classifications. You have partially sighted, and you have severely sight impaired. And severely sight impaired is what, you know, other people would call legally blind. Okay. But in the UK, it's called severely sight impaired. So when people say to me, oh, are you partially sighted? I say, no, I'm not partially sighted. I'm actually registered blind, because I am. So oh, you don't look blind. Well, there goes a misconception. So that's how we kind of get into the conversation. But I can just as easily explain how I identify myself as being blind, and it's a spectrum, just the same as I could do being visually impaired or having low vision. I can use all those terms, and I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Early.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, all right, I'm going to send you back.
Can I read you another piece of poetry?
Of course. Can you? You don't have to ask.
Okay, B, we still got you there, B?
Yeah, B's here.
Yeah, okay. This kind of touches on those kind of feelings that we've just been talking about. And yeah, I'd like you to kind of get into this one. There's a lot. You'd need a pen and a lot of paper with this one, okay? You ready?
Yeah.
B, you might need tissues.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. Curtains drawn in daytime to keep the sunshine out. These conversations in my head with fear, lost pride, and doubt. I hear the distant noises from life outside my door, but for today, I'll stay away. Can't face it now for sure. I'm tired of spending energy on simple daily tasks, those stupid misconceptions and those questions that they ask. Those "you don't look so blind" and "how you're looking right at me." The answer's just the same as their perceived stupidity. But here in safe of solitude, I'm wasting precious time. These eyes are meant for beauty, not for writing words that rhyme. But while I'm laying here alone, it's all that I can do to send this poem around the world into the heart of you. Our eyes by blind connection, our souls sometimes are one. Just holding on till little left has gone. This poetry is all I have to keep the clouds at bay. For in the end, around the bend, I know I'll find a way. For I'll not be here tomorrow, a prisoner in this room. Though darkness is a part of me, but my light it won't consume. My strength today is resting, my soul on charge plugged in. I'll see the world tomorrow, and once again I will begin.
Sorry, I was on mute there. B, take it away.
You can relate to that, can't you, B?
That's like the daily battle cry, and I love those. I love those when I have one of those days and I can pull a poem like that up, and I know there's everything going on inside that door, and I'm part of it right now, and I'm going to bring that story of my isolation to share with others so they can get back out there faster, like you've been doing, Dave. And it's for our families and it's for our loved ones, but really it's just for us. There's so much fun to be had. And I wanted to just say one thing is I was on this porch and it was really cold in the shadow over there. When I started getting really cold, I thought I was going to go inside, and I walked just 5 feet over here to where the sun was. And not only that, here's the interesting part, because it started warming up, but there's a bunch of birds over here singing because they just went over to where it was warm too, and it makes all the difference. And we're not isolated in the cold. We all went to the warmth. And that's kind of what this call is. So
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking about over here.
Yeah, very good. I love that. I love that.
Can you send some of the sun to the back here?
Brother, that's why I came up front.
I wish I was there with you guys. I really do.
I wish you were here as well, and I wish all those that were supposed to be part of this trip were here as well. I do want to read here. Well, Clark has a question, and I'm going to let you. Clark wants to know who Sedona Dave is. You have to understand your background, but we'll get to that. We'll wrap things up with that. And let's see here, marine comments here from Trish. Thank you so much, all of you, for your words of encouragement. I have Stargardts, and I met Dave Steele when we both were involved with Two Blind Brothers, Brad and Brian, of course.
Oh, Trish, yeah. Hi, Trish.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe you didn't realize when I said Trish from Dallas before. So
Yeah, of course. I know Trish. Yeah, she's great.
Dave, you've been such an inspiration to me, and I definitely need a group like y'all. That's I am one of 6 children. 4 out of 6 of us have Stargardts, and we've lived our lives being visually impaired. And the older I get, the more vision loss I have. Need people like all of you to encourage me daily. Thank you. So, Trish, this is the place. This is the place. There is no what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to get the words of encouragement. You're going to get it straight the way it is. You're going to get the bold poetry that's the way Dave expresses himself that I know all of you out there feel and share. And this is, the community. This is, as Allison said, the tribe that we have built and we are building here. And we want everyone.
To look elsewhere. Your search is over.
Yes. Yes. So thank you, Trish.
And hopefully we'll be out in Dallas at some point next year. Hopefully
we will. We definitely will. We definitely will. Let me bring on Allison. Allison wants to join us here.
Oh, great! I was hoping Allison would come on.
Absolutely. And Allison was actually supposed to be here as well. Hey, Allison.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Allison.
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if you can see me.
We can see you.
Okay.
We can see you, yeah.
Okay. I wish I was there.
You and me both. You and me both.
Right.
We wish also.
Yeah.
I'd take California though as a second, It's gonna be cold, rainy Manchester.
It's probably warmer by you now, Allison.
It's 72 today.
Yeah, it's in the 40s right now here.
Oh, wow. Chilly.
Yes.
I just wanted to say, Dave Steele, your first poem, what I got, the line that I wrote down, the person that I have become since my blindness.
Yep.
It's made me who I am, and the journey with this group, my tribe, it's empowering, excuse me. And it's so meaningful. And I encourage everybody that I run into or have conversations with to tap into this, because it's important and it helps. It truly does, to talk about what you're going through instead of isolation.
And it's a unique way of doing it with the poetry. I remember I've been talking about this recently on a few interviews and calls I've been honored to be a part of, and saying that when I first got the idea to kind of do this, I couldn't believe more people weren't, because music and poetry is just that way of getting people to kind of really feel the words more than just kind of saying them.
Right.
Giving them those rhythms and doing it in that kind of format, just, it sends it into the heart that much quicker. And it does get people to pay attention, and not just people from our community, but, when I do events and, people who aren't affected by blindness or low vision, are there, I can see them closing their eyes and putting themselves in our shoes, and that in itself is just a great thing to see.
It's educating, right? It's having a platform to educate individuals about this community, and it's so important, and it's not talked about. And through your poetry, and it's amazing, because it helps individuals, and it's relatable.
Go ahead. You do. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I can't tell you. I know I talk about this all the time, about, on the week calls that have gone by about, I never take it for granted. And every time I hear it, it's like the first time, especially at the moment. And Barry, you'll know what I'm talking about here. With some of the opportunities that I get and the places I get to reach with my words, it doesn't kind of faze me, but I still pinch myself all the time and go, I can't believe I'm able to kind of reach these people. And reach the places that tomorrow you're going to find out a little bit more, because my lips are sealed, but I just can't wait until I can share with you tomorrow, what I've been doing this week.
I'm so happy for you, because you deserve it. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
It's incredible.
It's
So-
not a thing of deserving it. It's to be honest, every time I think about it, it's not about, I don't look at it about me. I look at it about, I can reach somebody else that's not discovered it yet who might be helped by it, whether that be a person that's, newly diagnosed or having a bad day with low vision, or someone that can just have an opinion changed about how they perceive blindness.
And when I say deserve, I don't mean that in that particular sense where somebody is not deserving it. I just believe that your time has come through everything you've gone through, and that it's just the timing, and it's just your time to shine.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I want to just elaborate, as far as, being part of this group, I am sighted, but, I say I'm blind at heart. And I have learned and met so many extraordinary people since I got involved in the sight loss community a little over 6.5 years ago. And, sometimes, we talk on these, I co-host here, together with Dave, and I do a lot of, various different events and stuff like that. But I want to tell you that I listen to every single word that everyone shares, and it allows me to elevate the message, what this community, needs to get out to, the message to get it out there. So everything that everyone shares here, it's super important. And, there are many times where I can be quiet in meetings and I just listen. And then a week later, boom, something incredible comes from that. So I want to thank everyone for sharing and giving me the opportunity to be a part of this and to help elevate the message that is really so important. So thank you.
I've just got one more question for Alison. Alison, how are those books working out for you? Are you getting into them?
I am. Can you see them? I don't know. They're on my shelf.
I see them. They're up there.
You're right by my ghosty.
That's what they look like. I've got some here. Look at that.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I love them. And
Good.
family at Thanksgiving, it was nice just for them to kind of thumb through them. And I highly recommend anybody who is out there listening, if you haven't, you need to just get one, give it as a gift. It's just heartwarming. It's beautiful. And they touch my soul. So keep on writing.
Yeah, that's right. Keep on writing. That is for sure. That's right. By the way, Dave, since we've committed to Dallas, we have a post here in the chat that we're gonna be held to that promise. So I will make sure that promise comes to fruition.
Definitely. I know I've spoken about this with you, Barry, quite often. Is the South is somewhere where I've always kind of wanted to go. It's on my visual bucket list.
I know you want that barbecue. That's what you really want, right?
Yeah, that is exactly it. I really want to go to New Orleans. I want to the music and the absolutely. I just love.
For the record, I've never been to New Orleans, so I would be very grateful to go to New Orleans for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. I come. We'll do it together as we always do. And Eddie Echo is go see Eddie, and all good.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Allison. We miss you. I'm sorry, but hey, everything happens for a reason, and God willing, Dave will be here in April, and
there you go.
Bigger and better.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Mm-hmm.
So, all right, I want to I can't believe how time just flies, and now of course now it's getting warm. Now it's getting warm. But I want to anyone else want to share? Please don't be shy. We would love to see some new faces to come on and to join us here. Please, again, a lot of regulars out there, a lot of new faces out there tonight. So please, if you raise your hand, I will bring you on. We would love to hear from you. And even if it's just a quick hello, I promise you have nothing to be shy of. No one bites here. This is an incredible family. So, Dave, while we're waiting for maybe one or two people to raise their hand, do you want to close things out with a piece of poetry, or do you have one more for in between now?
No, I've got one to close out with. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so let's go. So Clark asked a question. He wants to know, who is Sedona Dave? Why are we? Well, I don't want to say why we're here, but who is Sedona Dave? So I'm going to let Sedona Dave answer that question, and put myself on mute while he does that.
Okay.
You there? Where are you?
I am unmuted.
There we go. Now I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Sedona Dave. I originally from Massachusetts. I do have RP, and RP pretty much terminated my surveying career. I was a heavy civil construction surveyor in the big city of Boston, doing a lot of the big projects, the Big Dig, amongst others. Spent about maybe 9 or 10 years in the big city surveying, and then we moved to Arizona. I lost my job as a surveyor because of RP, and my wife landed herself an amazing career out here in Sedona as a myofascial release therapist. So we moved out to really fuel her dreams. I was not sad. I was okay with moving to Arizona. I love the American Southwest, and really, I'll find something to do. So I just an amazing, gorgeous place to be, and to be going blind. I take every day as a precious day, never taking a day for granted. So that's my basic background as a surveyor, gone blind, living in Sedona, but I'm not done yet. I'm 56, and I really have a lot more miles under my feet. Great place to go hiking out here, and I just immerse myself in the landscape, in the mountains, on the trails, and that really became my passion, is to get out onto the land. And as I was introduced to these groups and to Barry and Ben, it was just more fuel for this. I got this mentality that we're not done yet. We've got a lot of life left in us. So I wanted to, I want to bring people, because it's so awesome out here. I really do want to bring people to Sedona, as Ben and Barry have really been expounding on, that you can feel the energy out here, and it's just an amazing place to experience. So I started working on a company called See Sedona Blind, which is really a tour company for the blind and low vision community to experience what we have to offer here in Sedona. Not just the amazing hiking, but all the other sensory experiences and tactile experiences that we have to offer here. Hiking, I'm not done yet. Got to get out into the trails, got to hike. I needed something. I was lacking something to keep me in the game. Ultimately, I developed what I call the Wild Thing, which is a modified hiking staff. That's really what I use now as a blind hiking cane to get us very effectively around the trails. We can see the scenery, not stare at our feet. It's a game changer. That's who Sedona Dave is. Gone blind, but I'm not done yet. So I really immersed my talons into my home port of Sedona, and very exciting to be here, to be blind here, and to be bringing blind people here. Great question. I appreciate. Thank you so much. I want to meet you out on the trails. So come on out.
And I want to add. Can you hear me? Thank you, Dave. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway, so I thank you so much, Dave, for that. There is, and Clark says that your story is extremely inspiring. As an artist, my environment influences my art, and so, Dave did leave out one small piece of who he is, and Dave has created a brand, an apparel brand. Yeah. All right.
That.
Called A Werewolf Gear. Now, for those of you who have some available site, myself, Sedona Dave, and B Fox, I don't know where he is. I mean, his picture's up there, but we are wearing these baseball caps. And this baseball hat here, if you guys can see, features the new Werewolf Gear brand design, the new logo. I'm going to take off my hat, but I want everyone to see this here.
So nice.
That is the new official
Really cool.
logo. And we're going to leave it like that for now because there is a lot more to follow. And
Yeah.
I am super excited for a werewolf gear apparel and big stuff going on here. So congratulations to you, Dave, for taking the leap, for moving forward, taking your ideas. And I want to encourage anyone out there that's listening, if you have an idea, don't let it pass by. Go out there and really nurture it and make it happen. And if you put it out there to the world, I promise you it will grow and you will be successful. So nothing happens overnight. Just like these beautiful mountains were not created overnight. Things take a lot of time and energy. So kudos to you and congratulations to you on launching the new brand, phase 2, as we say, for our werewolf gear. So Dave, I'm going to hand it over to you because again, I can't believe how another hour has rapidly gone by. And I feel that you're here with us, and we will look forward to seeing you face to face, of course, ASAP.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave you with this one. Have a fantastic week, and to everyone there in Sedona, enjoy your time.
Thank you.
Okay. If you lay awake in darkness as your tunnel closes in, thinking too much of what might yet be or a fight you're yet to win, know that I am right beside you, even though we're miles away. My foot is firmly in your shoe, your fears I will allay. Some days no one understands us, closest friends or family, feeling blinder than a blind man as we grieve for what we see. But you'll never be alone now, even though we've never met. We are following the same path, so in future, don't forget. I may have no useful vision, doesn't mean that I'm no use. No pigment darkening my heart won't let you be recluse. So kick that front door open with your cane or guide dog stride. There's a place for us still out here in a world from once we shied. If you're shunning those around you with each and every sip, pushing love away to get your fix and losing fragile grip, please don't stay there in denial. I know it's a comfy place. Lift your head and you will see I'm here for whatever you shall face. I know at times you feel a prisoner, like you can't face out there, feeling strangers' doubts and pity with each frustrating stare. But I can see so clearly, to you there's so much more. Sometimes the first step is the hardest one, to step outside your door. If you lay awake in darkness as your tunnel closes in, don't accept your fate, it's not too late. Independence, we can win. Know that I am right beside you, even though I'm miles away. My foot is firmly in your shoe. This blind poet leads the way.
He sure does. Dave Steele, the blind poet, always leading the way. Always leading the way. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon, this evening, for another incredible episode, if you want to call it, of TM Poetry. I can't wait. Tomorrow, we're going to celebrate World Disability Day tomorrow. Big stuff on the horizon. Big news coming out tomorrow. And again, congratulations to the entire tribe here. Allison, I've taken your words, the tribe.
Yeah.
And we're going to do something with it, based on the tribe. But we haven't figured that out yet. But it's just great to be here And again, thank you, Sedona Dave, for hosting us, for setting another new milestone here. And we're saying so long from Sedona. And Dave, we'll see you soon.
From Manchester, yeah, from the UK. See you guys
Take
next
care,
week.
Allison.
Have a great
Bye,
week,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Good night, guys. Bye-bye.